Hi everyone, this is Lori from Magic Me. I'm here today to talk about the full moon in Cancer. In the full moon in Cancer, one of the most important things we can do is charge our crystals. The full moon is actually one of the best times for us to charge our crystals. So what's important about charging crystals? You know, I work with crystals on a regular basis, and the one thing that I realize in talking to people is they're not very familiar with working with the crystals. When you get a crystal, we have to think about what that means. Here we have a nice quartz crystal, beautiful crystal clear. Are you aware of the fact that quartz crystal are inside timepieces, and they're what give the timepieces the ability to keep the frequency of time? We have to think about that very simply when we get a new crystal. So here's what we have to think of. If you're buying a new clock, bought an alarm clock, would take it out of the box, and the thing starts blinking at 12 o'clock when you plug it in or when you go to charge it or when the battery's in it. And the first thing you have to do is set the time. Now, there are some new things that now you can go among this world's clock where the time is set for you naturally. But in general, if you're in your home, wherever you reside, and there's a power outage, you know, you might have to reset your microwave, you might have to reset the clocks somewhere in the house that don't automatically generate like our phones do. You need to think about that when you're getting a brand new crystal. So when you get a brand new crystal, it's holding in a memory, it's holding in keeping time, it's holding in all of this different energy. So the first thing we do is to cleanse it. So there's multiple ways to cleanse your crystals, but one of the easiest ways is to wait for a full moon and to take the crystals and put them out. You can put them in a little dish like this. You can individually take them, put them out, you know, put them in a place outside in your backyard, in front of your front door, in the window of your car, somewhere safe that the moon is going to hit. And we remember that the full moon is hitting everywhere, regardless if it's weather patterns where the clouds are in front of it. The moon is always going to bring its energy in to cleanse the crystals. Now, the cool thing about the full moon is that this full moon is about an ending, a completion, because it's the winter solstice. So we're going into winter, we're ending the summer, we're going into the shortest day of the year, but from now, we end the complete cycle and we move on up because now the days start to get longer, moving us towards the summer solstice. So it's actually a really powerful day of completion, a powerful time of completion. And this is when we have to think to ourselves, what is it that we have in our life now, whether they're thoughts, patterns, behaviors, people, situations that aren't working, that don't make us feel emotionally comfortable. Cancer is about home and emotional comfort and nurturing. So if something makes you feel not at home and not comfortable and not about nurturing and kind of triggers you off of those warm, homey feelings, that's what needs to be looked at. So think about how we can use a completion of something to help aid us, because the energy right now for the next couple of days is the precursor to what all 2019 is going to be about, so we can manifest and we can make magic right now. Now is the time to set our intention. The second way to charge crystals, if you're not going to put them out for the full moon, is to use another crystal like selenite. Selenite is a cleansing crystal, and all you would need to do is take your crystals and put them near the selenite, on the selenite. Some places have charging plates. They look like a coaster type, and it's made out of selenite, and you can put the crystal right on top of it, and it will actually cleanse other crystals with it. To give it a bath, think about it. I went out and I worked all day in my garden, and my hands are all dirty, and I'm gonna go into the shower or the bath, and I'm going to cleanse off, and I'm gonna recharge and move into something new. So think about giving your crystals a bath or a shower and welcoming them into your new energy. Now let's get back to setting our clocks. So we've got this blinking 12 o'clock on our clock, and we've got to set the time. And that's what we have to do for our crystals. They are all cleansed. They are ready to go. We put them out in the full moon. So what do we do when we bring them in? Do we just set them in the windowsill and leave them? No, we have to tell the crystals what is the intention of the energy that the crystals are going to bring out to help us with. So I put a couple of crystals in here that I think will work really well for 2019. If they're not resonating with you, please leave below in the comments other crystals you'd like to see and how we can make them resonate with us for 2019 to build upon some strength and some new energy going forward on this new adventure of ours. We've got Capricorn season coming up, so Capricorn is about ambition and drive, and that's what we're thinking of when we're thinking of cleansing these crystals. What do we have to do now? What is the responsible and dutiful thing that we do now that's gonna bring us flourishing in the new year? The main crystal that I'm using is a Smokey Quartz. The Smokey Quartz is inside this orgone pyramid. The biggest thing I love Smokey Quartz for is grounding. Grounding is gonna keep my 2 feet on earth. Grounding is gonna keep me saying, I know what the goal is. I know what the mission is. I know where I need to go, and I have my 2 feet on the ground. I know what has to happen, and this is gonna help me stay there instead of zoning off into fantasy land and hoping and dreaming for wonderful things that might be out there. But we need to set something in reality, and when we're looking to set things into reality, we need things that are going to ground us. I love Smokey Quartz because I think that it brings a grounding for everybody, every sign, every person. Quartz crystal is the one that is going to bring the most energy with your grounding ability, and the Smokey Quartz really helps us. So if I'm taking this Smokey Quartz and I'm bringing it in from being cleansed, I'm going to say, I am going to want you to help ground me. I'm going to picture in my head 2 feet on the ground, putting in the responsibility, putting in the work, knowing where I stand, knowing what my relationship is in order to get to my goals. What do I need to do? What are the steps? This is going to ground me and always bring me back to that reality. And that's what I'm going to think of every time I need to come back to where I am. Every time my imagination is taking me to all these wonderful places that I want to go, how do I ground them in reality? How do I make them come to fruition? I ground myself back with my Smokey Quartz. And that's where I'm going to be putting the energy. So every time I'm looking at my Smokey Quartz, I'm walking by my Smokey Quartz and I'm using it, I'm thinking of grounding, I'm thinking of balance, I'm thinking of 2 feet on the ground, and that's how I'm going to set this crystal to work with me for 2019. The next crystal I've chosen is Aventurine. Aventurine right now, as we leave Sagittarian season, is about adventure. It has that word within it. Adventure. Where are we going? What are we doing? Something new, something different, something exciting. Aventurine for me is about luck, opportunity, and prosperity. And when I think of moving forward into 2019, I'm looking for new opportunities. I'm looking for something in luck. I'm looking for prosperity, aren't we all? So when I look to Aventurine, I think of adventure and I think of all the opportunities that might be available to me. This is gonna help me to keep my eyes open to when new things come about, to when an adventure presents itself in front of me, instead of cowering and being back into my, oh, I'm at home and that's not what I do and I'm used to doing this. I'm gonna wanna seek out something new. I'm gonna wanna try something new. I'm gonna wanna jump in to something new for the opportunity to move on to a new level. While I have it gridding with my Smokey Quartz, I'm grounding it in reality. So I'm knowing that even though I wanna jump into adventure when opportunity presents itself, I'm going to base it in reality. That's what Aventurine is going to bring to me. It's going to bring that lucky, positive joy that is set in the reality that I'm setting my intention for. The third stone I'm using is, I love this stone, Labradorite. Labradorite is a stone that transforms. I don't know if you could see it, but the colors and the facets kind of move into these iridescence, and it is considered the stone of transformation. And when we move into a new year, even if we're sticking in the same job or the same opportunities or the same thing but moving up a level, this stone is going to give us the ability to transform and to blossom and to grow into something new. So it could be you're at a job that you're at, but you're offered opportunity to move into a higher level. You're offered the ability to transform and to do maybe a training that could bring you up to the next level. this is what this stone is going to do. It's always going to bring in a transformation of some sort. It could be a belief in your head. You can be believing that something is one way and it's what you've always thought it was. And then you think to yourself, well, what if I tried something new? I'm transforming what I'm doing. I'm trying something new. I'm moving into new adventure. I'm moving into new opportunity. And this is gonna help me power through and give me the transformation needed within my intuition and within feeling good and grounded, which comes back to the Smokey Quartz. What's gonna make me feel comfortable and whole that I can move through it? I'm not gonna feel comfortable diving forward into something without checking first if there's water in the pool, right? So the Stone of Transformation can help you reach for the stars, but while knowing it's grounded in that reality to help us make a new reality forward. The next stones that I've picked are Sun and Moonstone. I'm working with these gridding together in opposition because that's exactly what's going on when there is a full moon. It is the opposite. The moon is in one half of the sky and the sun is in the other half. At a 180 degree, it's a complete opposition, and that's what a full moon is. We're in the sign of Capricorn with the sun and Cancer with the moon. So Cancer is exalted in the moon. It is its home sign, and that's why it's bringing us back to very emotional time. And that's why I have picked these crystals to go with it, because these are all ones that really touch us personally and will help us evolve into our next level of being. So I really like these two stones just to take my grid to the next level. The next stones that I've picked gridding in opposition are Amethyst. And Amethyst are just wonderful stones for intuition, for happiness, a really feel good, feel home, feel grounded stone. One of the stones that if you were first working with crystals, you would probably see Amethyst. They're purple. They're an easy stone to come by and find. They're not so rare, which is good because it brings us to something that's more about being here and in the present and enjoying life and moving forward with it. With crystal quartz is all about clear thinking and knowing what my path is ahead. Where am I going to think I need to go? Where do I want to go? What do I need to do in order to get there? And feeling whole about getting there. It's really going to give me the power. It's kind of like an empowerment. It's kind of like the charge. Like if they were on like a bracelet, I could put them around and it gives me the power to move forward and make all of this happen. And the last stones that I have around my grid are Garnet. And I'm using Garnet as more of a feminine balance. And I'm using this in the femininity of power. Again, power to move forward, power with business. Business can have to do with school. Business can have to do with your job. Business can have to do with meeting with other people. When we meet with other people and we speak to other people, we want to make sure that what we feel on the inside, where are we going to need this in relation to our job? Where are we going to need this in relation to our relationships and our business? And Garnet's going to bring that home and give us the strength to move forward with what we're looking for. These crystals are going to help us in 2019. Any crystals that you'd like to know how they work, leave a comment below. I have some black tourmaline here, black tourmaline for protection. I always use it to grid, and I always use it when I work with my tarot cards. Let's go into a tarot card to pull for the energy of the full moon. What do we need for the full moon and what kind of energy is coming forth? There we go. The High Priestess. The High Priestess, second card of the tarot deck. Of course, it starts with a 0, but the High Priestess is bringing us into our natural instincts, our intuition, our self-assurance to move forward. This is the High Priestess. This is not the regular priestess. This is not the emperor. This is the High Priestess. This is a more feminine power. I'm really happy it came out. Maybe it was the Garnet that really helped pull this all together. But this is telling us that 2019 is about using what you have inside, using your intuition and using your power to forge ahead and move forward to make it the best life you can. We've got major energy coming up. We've got major shifts coming up. A lot of changes coming up, and the change can happen within you. Don't be scared to use your power to move forward for what you're looking for. The High Priestess is behind you. I hope you enjoyed working with my crystal chat. Please like, comment below, and I look forward to seeing you for another video in 2019.